All right, welcome to the Wily Manager Crash Course, where we try and give you a bit of a sneak peek into the discussion topic of the full-length version of our weekly podcast. And on today's show, Bob, we talked about the workplace bully.
Yeah, the workplace bully. So we're reliving our childhood disaster memories.
All right, see if you can give an idea to the folks as to how this conversation went down.
Right on. Well, the first thing we'll talk about is what is a bully. And contrary to popular belief, a bully isn't somebody who disagrees with you. So it's, oftentimes people, or somebody who's trying to hold you accountable, or maybe just somebody you don't like. Right. So bullying is actually a very specific behavior. And again, it'll be defined maybe differently in various organizations or jurisdictions, but nevertheless, it's different than just somebody you don't like. So a bully is somebody who wants to win at absolutely any cost. They're people that are aggressive and hostile, and people that are motivated by power, control, or fear. They're just not. They are nasty people, but there's lots of nasty people who are not necessarily bullies.
All righty. So how do you deal with these nasty people, Bob?
Well, we're going to suggest there's 4 things that you need to do, right? So the first one is determine if it actually is bullying, because sometimes it's either less than bullying, which we just talked about, or it's actually more than bullying. So it could be violence in the workplace or harassment or discrimination. And so you need to eliminate those things first, because if it's violence in the workplace or discrimination or harassment, you don't need to do any of these other 3 things. You need to call somebody and have it dealt with because it's against the law. Right. So the second thing is, if you've determined that it's not those other things, but rather it is in fact just bullying, which is not fun to deal with. So you're going to, the bully's all over you and you're going to confront the bully. The first thing you need to do is suppress your emotions. So this is much easier said than done. But you need to channel your inner Mr. Spock, right? And figure out how to remain most serene and Vulcan-like while you're dealing with this person. So we talk about exactly how you would do that, right? About being self-aware of what's actually happening to you. The third thing you need to do is you need to try to redirect that behavior. So the way in which you redirect the behavior is, again, acknowledge the other person's viewpoint without ceding any ground. Tricky to do. So you need to restate the position. You need to, in neutral language, right, without agreeing with the person or giving any way, because that's exactly what these people want. The reality is that people are bullies because bullying works. Right. So we need to make sure that when you're dealing with a bully, that you don't cede that ground. Right. So we talk about how you actually redirect that behavior. Right. So again, ask clarifying, confirming questions. How do you ask the other person for a solution, whatever the case may be? And the fourth and final step with dealing with a bully is you need to adjourn if necessary. And so there's, again, if there's any question for you, whether or not it's one of these more serious behaviors, you need to adjourn. If you're emotionally compromised, you don't think you're able to function because you're really angry or upset or whatever the case may be, you need to adjourn. Okay. If you're in front of a large group, for example, you want to adjourn to a place where there's fewer people there. You may in fact want 1 witness, but you don't want 25 witnesses, right? So your fourth step is just trying to figure out where and when to best carry on the conversation and adjourn if necessary.
Okay, cool. So if you have an interest in this topic, you can go pull off the full-length version of our discussion off of iTunes, or alternatively directly off the website, wilymanager.com.
Right on. We'll see you next time, Jed.
Thanks, Bob.